Dahlias are loved worldwide for their striking blooms and wonderful color. I recently visited Paradise Found Dahlias and met with Kelly, and she gave us some tips on how to grow dahlias and care for them, and how to put together some beautiful arrangements.
I started with dahlias in 2020, actually. So my venture into dahlias is not that long. I started with Vernon's Obsidian, which is a single petal, kind of really dark, interesting looking dahlia. I feel like gardening is such a spiritual thing for me. I had lost my dad during COVID and I had lost my job, and I didn't have much else to do besides grieve and be at home. And it was COVID times. We didn't know what was going on. And I just really went heavy on the gardening. It kept me sane. So I'd be out there for like unemployed, 8 hours a day, kind of just working and really falling in love with it. And that really got me onto dahlias, that first like Vernon's Obsidian bloom. And just kind of seeing the different forms the plants take and like all the different colors and just textures that come with them. And it's kind of just gone since then.
It's grown a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's quite the hobby.
It's turned into more than a hobby. There's this little side business she's got going here.
Yes.
So how far into it before you decided, I want to start putting together bouquets?
Yeah, I kind of always wanted to be able to grow and sell from that first year because I had such success with like cut flowers. But at that point it was also cut flowers, so it was a lot of sunflowers, like scabiosas, all those fun things. But dahlias, I really started last year selling, so I'm lucky to have a really cool full-time job. And I went on a work trip with some amazing menu development chefs. They're all really great friends, but we took a course and it was about kind of creating your own personal brand and doing things. And while they're doing it for their, menu development and chef purposes, I'm sitting back there. Exactly. I'm sitting back there taking notes, and it was a kind of defining moment. It was what do you want? And I wrote down to create beauty. That was what I wanted. And
we share that, and we've talked about that. Kelly has come to visit my garden, and we talked about our ideal garden is like the Garden of Eden, where it's lush and color and just vibrant, and we share that.
And it's the something at every turn, too, that I think we both like, is that interest and just kind of being immersed. It's perfect.
Absolutely. It's so therapeutic, and you talked about that and how it helped you through that time. With no job, you lost your dad. Yeah. You lost your mom as well.
Yeah, I lost my mom last year. So it was really, that being at that, chef retreat that I was at for my full-time job. I was 2 months out from losing my mom to really aggressive cancer. When you lose somebody close to you, you reset on everything, right? Life's not about the 9 to 5 anymore. It's truly about what do you want to soothe your spirit. And that was it. And gardening was something I always did with my mom. I grew up, we were really poor. I have a lot of gratitude for what she did. She worked minimum wage jobs, keep the lights on, but she always kept a garden going. Like, that was the thing, is no matter what.
That's an amazing feat, because you and I both know with working, you work a full-time job, and I work more than 3 days a week, and it to keep a garden going is it does
work.
Sometimes feel like work. It's a joy.
Yes,
it's a combination, though.
Yeah, we do it because we love it, but I get tired. It's a lot, and there's days you don't want to be out, and you kind of have to.
So what are some of the tips, since you've learned more about growing dahlias, that you can, give us with the dahlias?
The first tip obviously is try to prep for gophers. They love to eat. Gophers, they love to eat the tubers. It's, you think a tuber is like a potato. It's a delicious snack, right? Except that I'm going to lose a certain amount every year to gophers.
And so in preparing, you put in raised beds and
I did.
Hardware cloth.
Exactly. Hardware cloth, not chicken wire. I feel like we all know that as gardeners, but I still, you know, some of these beds back here came with the house and it's chicken wire and they've busted through.
Now, do deer bother them at all?
Dahlias are considered deer resistant.
Okay.
So while the deer come and eat everything from my tomatoes to my cannabis, they do not touch these. They might sample. Like I might see one or two things.
Devour.
They don't devour.
Okay.
So
like they do a lot of things, you'll come out and the flower, the bloom will be gone. Everything else is there.
Yeah, it's
Stock and everything, but the bloom is gone.
Yes. So
the most precious to us as gardeners because we wait.
Yeah. No, I've had. I found out this year that they absolutely love scabiosa. So it is
and that's something that
something I love in my arrangements, and really easy to grow, except when you obviously have deer coming by.
Best that you can is prepare in the gopher bags.
Yeah.
Or do it the raised beds. There are certain varieties that are better to get tubers and easier to grow, or how do you look for tubers when you're deciding for next year?
That's a good question. There are tubers at big box stores. So you can go to a Home Depot for like the home gardener that isn't concerned with production of tubers in the future. You can certainly go to any of those stores. I like to shop either within my Dahlia Society, which is going to be the Monterey Bay Dahlia Society, or by local farmers, and that has a lot to do with disease in dahlias.
That they would know the ones that are more disease resilient.
Exactly. So there are, and you know, I also say this knowing that a lot of the dahlias I got started with were those big box stores, so there's no shame to those dahlias. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of the imported dahlias come from the Netherlands, and those typically will come with kind of crown gall or leafy gall. And that's just something you want to avoid.
So shop local grown tubers from
local grown tubers.
And the society, look for the society in your area.
Yeah, so if you have a Dahlia Society, those people are the most intense with their plants. They are constantly looking for, you know, signs of disease. They're taking really good care of their tubers. They're likely to have the time to divide dahlias properly, you know, because you have to have an eye and a bit of the crown.
When do you plant the dahlia tubers? What time of year?
Yes, so I start by waking them up. Waking them up to me is taking them out of the storage that I've stored them in over the winter. After waking them up, so I'll wake them up in about March. And waking them up is really just putting them on a bed of soil, letting them get a little bit warmer. My goal is to have everything in the ground by end of April. Very cyclical for me. It's end of April that everything is in, and I am done dividing and digging by the end of November. So typically that Thanksgiving week is just me like dividing tubers, and then everybody's away.
And I want to come back so she can show us dividing. That'll be another video showing dividing the tubers and how you store them.
Yes.
That would be great.
That is my most commonly asked question about that.
So then you plant the tubers, and is there anything that you need to do as far as protecting the new growth when they do come up? Do you need to spray them with any?
So I don't. You can. I would tell you that I'm kind of a hands-off gardener in a lot of ways, and I let nature do what it's going to do. The biggest thing I have to protect the newly planted ones from are these lovely birds, which
she has plenty of ducks and chickens running around here, but they also help the garden.
They do. They are providing me with nutrient-rich water, especially the ducks, from their pools. So I try to drain some of their pools out to feed the plants. Dahlias are super heavy feeders. When we go back to that original kind of starting the dahlia tuber, I supply them with bone meal. So kind of a handful of bone meal in the hole that I'm putting the tuber in. That's really to help the dahlia get a strong root system going and have that initial.
They're healthy from the start.
Exactly. Post that, I wait until they start blooming. When they are blooming, I feed them every 2 weeks. So they are heavy feeders.
How often do you water them?
Watering, I am probably on the lighter side of like the dahlia folks, but I do each plant probably 2 to 3 times a week. I aim for twice a week because it's so hard to do it all out here.
It's a lot of work hand watering, and we talk about, she hand waters like I do.
Hand watering.
So
Yeah, we tried drip. Drip just didn't work for us.
And I that is a theme that I hear, is that the drip stops.
Yeah.
It gets plugged up. Gophers eat it. You name it. There's tons of problems. And I like hand watering because your hands are on everything and you're looking visually at all of your plants to see what's going on. Because if you're not doing that regularly, you miss things.
Yes, and I think that's a really important thing with dahlias too, is to be kind of cognizant of what's going on with your plants. So we have a lot of powdery mildew that started early. I wish I would have intervened earlier on that this year.
Is that something that comes up every year, or just some years are worse because of the weather?
Every year. I famously said prior to this year I never got it until September. But this year we are super early. I've been treating it, but...
And what are you using to treat the mildew?
A copper fungicide spray. Shout out to my helper 2 houses down, who will come and help me take care of the plants. Copper fungicide and defoliation of the lower leaves. You can kind of actually maybe see that here.
How often do you apply the fungicide to the dahlias?
We've been going kind of every week and a half and doing the fungicide. I am at the point where, you know, it's almost September. I'm going to let it happen. Kind of let the plants start dying back a little bit naturally and let nature take its course and quit fighting it.
Now, you just recently sold bouquets for a charity.
Yes.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
So Denise Garcia, I'm a cat person, 9 cats in that house. Denise Garcia is a local woman to Prunedale who does TNR services, which I'm really appreciative of, because that's really working to keep the pet population down. And when we do that, there's less animals in the shelter. I sound like Bob Barker. Spay and neuter your pets. But I'm really supportive of what Denise does. We did a week of sales for her. We got around $700 for her, which was really exciting. I did a fundraiser for a woman last year, which really was like my initial kind of work into using the flowers for good. She's a young woman. Her name is Kayla. She lost her husband to the same cancer that my mom had. So we also did a nice fundraiser for her last year. And it was just nice to use the flowers for something good. To me, that's keeping my mom's spirit going, is that generosity that she always had.
Anytime that we can, do something like that, it gives back. It just makes it so much more purposeful what you're doing.
Yeah,
and it's not all about you and your pretties.
No, exactly. And I would tell you too, the other thing is meeting folks. We're really lucky here in Prunedale. You and I met Robert and Kirby, and they're lovely people, and Maribel, and it's just like these, and you meet these people that are gardeners, and I just find that gardeners are such genuinely like good humans that just want to share, and we're all in our little niche and everything, but it's amazing. And just meeting the people that I sold bouquets to, I met tons of lovely folks in Prunedale, and it's fun. Like, I love chatting.
And doing what I do with not just the gardening, but with the YouTube, and I find people and interesting stories all the time. And, I'm not able to do a video every time, but it amazes me how many wonderful gardeners there are out there, and that do different kinds of gardening styles, and I just think it's fabulous, and they're all really fantastic people.
Yeah, and I think, I think back to Robert and his garden, and I've been thinking about this a lot in terms of gardening. I think
you haven't watched that video?
Yes.
Watch the video that I did with Robert and his shade garden, Robert and Kirby, and their shade garden. It's a wonderful interview. He's a great guy and so much fun to talk to about plants.
Yes. No, I think about Robert, though, and I think, well, Robert, he did hair for so long. He's an artist, and I really think that gardening is our medium. Working with plants is our medium, and everybody is an artist. Robert's garden is a reflection of him and Kirby, and I think it's beautiful, and your garden is you. So I find it so satisfying to kind of show me, if you will, and what I like in this.
We learn from each other.
Yes.
What works and what doesn't work, and
we get tons of plants from each other.
That's a big
Too many plants, yeah.
So I told Kelly that I've never been really successful with growing dahlias. I've had 1 or 2 blooms. over the years, and just never, I don't put a lot into it because I felt like I wasn't, it was just wasn't for me maybe, but she said she's going to turn me around to be a dahlia grower. So
we can convert her.
and so you told me that one of the things is that they do like their water.
They do like
And
water.
they like to be fed.
They like to be fed. They really like water. The feeding is really important. Again, I do every 2 weeks. I'm a big fan of Dr. Earth products. So I use Dr. Earth Bud and Bloom, and I'm giving my plants about a quarter cup of food. And that in itself, I would say, that's where dahlias get expensive, in my opinion. I sell my bouquets to recoup my cost because fertilizer is so expensive.
It's a business, but it's not profiting you.
Yeah, so don't think you're going to make $1 million.
Coming back into the garden.
Exactly. But you're not going to get rich off of dahlias. I mean, maybe you will, but it's not happening for me yet. Definitely.
But I'm amazed though that because you had this big fundraiser and pretty much sold out of what you had cut flowers. And this is 1 week later, and look at how many blooms you have. That is amazing. They're amazing producers.
It is. I would tell you forecasting, only because I work, my full-time job is in fresh produce, so we deal a lot with forecasting for our crops. Forecasting for dahlias is a little bit hard. So I think that I'm sold out, and then sometimes I come out the next day and I have a ton of blooms. It's just, they kind of wax and wane. I think a lot is dependent upon our weather out here.
So preparation is really key in the very beginning. Choosing the types of tubers, varieties that you grow, depending on what you're growing them for.
Yes.
If you're growing them for cut flowers is really important to choose locally grown tubers, get those, and you research the varieties that grow well in your area. And
I would say also something that's been really helpful to me is a website called dahliaaddict.com. Dahlia Addict. They review a lot of farms and the quality of their tubers.
And
so
is that local or is that nationwide?
That's nationwide. They're reviewing like independent farms. Okay. So it's really helpful to see who has those quality tubers.
Now, if somebody wanted to, do you have a website for your dahlias, for your bouquets that you make?
I don't have a website yet. I do operate on Instagram. So at Paradise Found Floral is where you can get in touch with me.
I'll put a link to her Instagram in the description of the video.
Yes.
And you can check out, she has some beautiful arrangements, and we have a treat because she's going to show us how to put together a dahlia bouquet.
Yes. A nice little birthday bouquet for a customer today. So this is Rebecca Lynn, and she is one of my favorites. This is a tuber you can get for like $6 to $8. So she's affordable. Everybody that's into dahlias knows about the Dahlia Wars. It's people trying to get the most fancy ones, but I am a proponent that anybody can have something really nice.
These are gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm blanking on the variety name, but they are lacinated. The color really develops with these guys kind of over time, and that's exciting. I think anything can be beautiful as long as you like it, because we all have our own ideas of what's nice.
It's actually one that you're going to be providing to somebody today.
Yes, this is for a wonderful woman who has been an kind of original supporter, if you will, of me. It is her birthday. Her husband is paying for them. She was told that he has to. She's been sending him Instagram hints constantly, and today she's going to get her birthday bouquet. It might sound strange, but I try to match the person the bouquet is going to, if I know them.
Personality-wise,
So I've kind of cut stuff. I think I'm going to go with pinks for her. I think pink feels more birthday to me. This is pineapple sage. I just love it as kind of my foliage. So
it's really pretty, and it obviously lasts long in the vase.
It lasts nice. It also, since it's pineapple sage, it has that pineapple kind of smell to it, which is really nice. Dahlias don't really have like a distinct floral smell, so I think it's nice to have something kind of herby in there. And this is Grevillea or filler. I like the spikiness of it. So I also have my probably like $10 Amazon Lazy Susan right here. which is kind of amazing because it helps you see all sides. So you're not just designing for one side.
Great. Good idea.
So I always start with my base, 4 to 6 stems of that greenery.
And would you call this a medium, or is this about the only size that you do?
This is, to me, I call this a small. So I'll do big, kind of, I would say they're maybe a little bit more artsy when they get bigger because we're using like different mechanics to hold things up.
These are the line flowers that you just cut.
Yeah, so we have sacred sage stems. Again, we were just looking for kind of nice organic shapes to add in here. So I start with base, then line flowers. And again, it's not really a flower. Well, I mean, it's line plant. And then I'm going to add these little snapdragons, not yet bloomed, but pretty.
Now, do you look to form certain shapes with each arrangement, like more ball shape and some more cylindrical?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I would tell you, I let it go where it's going.
You have that person in mind that you're making it
yeah,
for. And
yeah, like you get to know, the one thing that's really beautiful is I get to know a lot of the people that these go to and see what they like.
And you have a lot of repeat customers.
Yes, I have a lot of repeat customers. I also just have a lovely community of women in Prunedale. Honestly, just a few of them started sharing my work, and now they all really like it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I've seen, and you have to go to her Instagram.
Yes.
It's her arrangements are just incredible.
Fun. Yes.
Just the color that dahlias and the rest of the plants give is just amazing.
It's
incredible. How long
incredible.
will these last?
These are, so I tell my customers to change the water every day. If you change the water every day, you're looking at about a week. Okay. I do a weekly, I have a subscription program. So I am full, and based on the time of year, I'm not taking any more. But I kind of do a CSA where people pay up front for a subscription that runs 8 weeks.
Oh, nice.
So they'll get flowers delivered or flowers that they can pick up.
Because then you're never without a fresh.
Exactly. And they look forward to it. It's really nice because each week I get to know them and I know what they like or what they don't like, and I can kind of tailor.
And do you get a little high off of creating one with a little surprise in it?
Yes, I absolutely do. I think like this week alone, I had the tiniest ball dahlia bloom. It's this big, it's tiny. And I was so excited to give it to this one girl because she messages me a lot about how she just finds the petal form fascinating. So it was like this great thing. I was like, I know exactly who that's going to. Some people are into the more wilder dahlias, which might be like lacinated, and we'll play with those if I feel that they're ready for this, if you will, if they're ready for that kind of really weirdo, like different flower. And then I have people that do like maybe a more formal, like ball form. We have our line flowers, we have our base, and then the next thing I would do is put in statement flowers, if you will. So that's going to be, I don't know, let's see if we can get it. But this is Rebecca Lynn. Again, one of my favorite varieties of dahlia. Really cute. It's just, to me, it's just so girly and like, it's like beautiful. Barbie kind of. So I just place them in here. Obviously I'm not using any kind of like mechanics in the vase. It's literally just the vase, and let them kind of fall where they will.
Just so perfect.
I know. I just felt artistic, but failed at the formal arts. So I think that might be what this is for me. This pink, kind of peachy tone, a really prolific bloomer.
Beautiful.
So
look at the center on that.
Yeah. It's just...
I love this little touch with snapdragons, just little, look at that.
Isn't it cool?
That is beautiful, Kelly.
I think that those are the things that really add that like visual interest. I'll have to show you. I have scabiosa pods that are really cool too. The ducks have kind of decimated the plant, but nonetheless, they're beautiful and cool in arrangements. So again, I just kind of let the flower tell me where to put it.
So pretty.
And I found as I continue to do this that it's kind of a less is more thing. So the more experienced you get with doing this, I think the more impactful less flowers can be, as long as they're in the right position. That being said, I do have people that still want to buy just dahlias from me, or just cut flowers.
Just on their own.
just on their own. I don't charge an awful lot for that. It's usually $1.50 a stem, which is what like you would pay at a wholesale flower market. So kind of just tuck that guy in there. So see, it kind of just takes on that shape as we keep going with their focus.
And I do love that pineapple sage, the leaves and it.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah. That is beautiful just on its own. Are you going to add more?
Yeah, I think we
stare at it for a while?
I do. Yeah, it's definitely a process. I like to just look at it, and then as like the video.
I see what you mean about less is more.
Yeah.
And not having to feel like you have to just pack everything. Because then I think you lose the individual flowers.
You do. I think like having dimension in it too, like the different heights. I've heard that you're not supposed to have the same flower on each plane, if you will. I don't know that I necessarily abide by that, but definitely, yeah, different like levels and different places for the eye to go.
I just can't get over the center of these.
They're
Cosmos.
incredible.
So
they are incredible. I am entering them in the Santa Cruz County Fair.
Oh, fun. Well, thanks so much for showing us how to cut and put together these beautiful arrangements that you do. They're just gorgeous. And if anybody wants to get in touch with Kelly or to find out more about the arrangements that she does, you can check out the link in the video description of her Instagram and see for yourself some of the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dahlias. And look at this.
Yes.
So Kelly's going to turn me into a dahlia grower.
Yeah.
Not grower, but garden, in my garden.
Yeah.
That is just, I love the little cups on those. What is the terminology for this type of dahlia?
That is considered a ball form.
A ball form.
Yeah. So they're the best for arranging. A lot of people really do love these guys, and I'm blanking on what this would be considered. But the longevity and vase life of ball dahlias are definitely a lot better.
These are amazing.
Yeah, those guys are
These are standouts. Look at that.
They just remind me of like Dr. Seuss, like kind of whimsical, like crazy with these curls.
Just amazing.
And the thing is, I'm always cutting, but when I stop cutting for a minute and the plant really gets to fully open, it just pushes these leaves back even more, and the curls become just even more wild. Yeah.
Gorgeous. Well, thanks so much for letting us come to your garden and learn more about dahlias and how you put together the bouquets. It's been a lot of fun.